Hey everybody, it's Christy from the Stamp Cycle here. I have my little stamping buddy, Migo, with me. And we have a super cute project to show you today. Actually, this is take number 2 of trying to film this project. I actually was filming it yesterday and my camera cut out in the middle of filming. So we're back today to try this again. So what we're making today is this cute little back to school project. It is actually a backpack. I'm going to get it closer here to the camera so you can see it. It actually even has little straps in the back. It even opens so you could fill this up with candies, erasers, school supplies, little pens. This would make a super cute teacher's gift. It would be really cute to give to your kids on their first day of school, kind of as a good luck on your first day. It's a great little thing to make for your kids to give to all their little friends at school. So I thought this would be a great little project to make, since here in North Carolina, a lot of the kids are going back to school next week. So fingers crossed that the camera does not cut out again while we try filming this, and we'll give it another shot. So come on in, let's head over to the Stampin' Studio and let's get started on this project. Okay, here's the backpacks that we'll be making, so let's get started. What you're going to need is 2 pieces of cardstock. The biggest piece, which is the body of the backpack, is going to be 9.5 by 5.5. The smaller piece, which makes the box on the front, is going to be 5 3/4 by 2 1/4. You're also going to need 2 pieces of designer series paper cut at the same measurements. This is the layering piece, as you see here on the backpack. These 2 pieces are cut at 3 7/8 by 2 7/8, and then you're going to need 2 additional pieces of DSP to make the tops, the top of the backpack, and then the top of the little box on the front. The top of the backpack, this measures 3.5 by 3, and the top for the box measures 2.5 by 3. You're going to want to score all of these at the same time, so let's go ahead and get our score tool. Okay, let's start with the body of the backpack first. You want to line this up at the top with the 9.5 going across, and you're going to score at 1.5, at 4.5, at 6, and then at 9. Then turn it on its side where the 5.5 is at the top, and you're going to score at 1.5. Okay, set that aside. Now for the small piece that makes the box on the front, again, you're going to want the longest side along the top, and you're going to want to score at 1/4, at 2 3/4, at 3, and then at 5.5. All right, turn that on where the smallest side is at the top, and you're going to score at 2. Okay, now for the 2 pieces of DSP that makes the top of our bag and the box on the front. Now for this box, this is going to be the piece that's facing out, so you'll want to turn that down, and you want to put the 3.5 length up at the top, and then you're going to score at 1.5 and at 2. And when you score on DSP, you want to make sure you're scoring a little lighter, because the DSP is not as thick as cardstock, and you can easily poke through with your scoring tool. So just go a little lighter when you score. So again, you're going to score at 1.5 and 2. Then get your other piece of DSP that is the top for the small box on the front. Again, flip it over to the bottom side will be facing you, and you're going to score this at 1 1/4 and 1.5. Okay, And that's done with all the scoring. Now let's do some cutting. All right, let's bring in our pieces of cardstock. So for the body of the bag, you're going to want to cut out this small square here. You want to cut that completely off. And you want to kind of watch the score lines here. Make sure that you're cutting off all the score lines and getting a nice crisp edge. Okay. And then for the other remaining score lines, you just want to cut up to the next score line. Okay, now for the little box that makes the front, again, you're going to want to cut out one little square here on the side. Cut that completely out. And then again, just like you did the other box, you're going to cut up all the score lines. Okay, now let's fold and burnish all of our score lines. All right, do the same for the big pieces cardstock. It's actually the body of the backpack. Okay. Now, we have to kind of assemble the entire bag before we actually close it. And you'll see why when we start adding the ribbon. So let's go ahead and add our 2 pieces of designer series paper. And you're going to want to kind of just at first fold the box to figure out where the back and the front of your bag is. So we always put the seam where it closes towards the back. So this is going to be the back of the box. And this is the outside. So you're going to want to remember that and put your DSP on these 2 squares. That's going to be the outside of the box. So we'll just attach those with some snail. Okay. Let's attach our other panel here. Alright. Okay, now let's go ahead and put our small box together. You'll want to use Tombow glue for this. I find that the snail is just too thick, and you want to have a nice hold. So I use Tombow. So the first thing you're going to want to do is put a little bit of Tombow here on the outside of the box. And then glue this box together. And you want to hold it in place until that Tombow actually starts sticking before you move on to gluing the bottom. So I just hold that for a few minutes. Make sure it gets a good stick. You can even take your bone folder and use that to push those 2 pieces together so that the Tombow really starts to stick. Okay? And then you're going to want to fold in the rest of your box. Now, this being the seam, you're going to want everything to fold towards that back. So fold in the 2 sides, fold in that piece, and then put your Tombow here on this flap that's going to fold towards the back of the box. And again, you're going to have to hold this for just a couple seconds to make sure that Tombow starts drying and making sure the box adheres together. Okay, now you can set that aside. So the next thing we need to work on is the top of both of the backpack and the box. And what you're going to need is you're going to need your third largest and your fourth largest circle from your circle dies. And when I mean third and fourth, I mean if you count in from not counting the scalloped one, but you count in 1, 2, this is your third and this is your fourth. So you're going to need your 3 and your fourth. If you count in from the middle, it's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your 6 and your 7. And in order to get this curve that you see on the front of the backpack, we're going to use these circles as our guide, and we're just going to trace that circle pattern. So your fourth largest is going to go with your the top that goes with the square. Your fourth largest is going to go with the backpack top. So you'll need a pencil, and what you're going to do is just line up this circle die as evenly as you can with the top, trying to get the same amount of space on each side, and for the tip of this die to just touch the top of the paper. You're going to want to draw a circle, just trace that, and you want to do the other flap. But the thing about the other flap is one piece is longer than the other, so you want to make sure you're picking the correct side to trace and cut. So you'll see when you fold it where our score lines is, there's a longer side. That's the side you want to draw your to trace your circle on. So again, just line it up, try to get it as evenly as possible, trace it with the pencil, and then what we're going to do is just grab our scissors and cut along where we drew those trace lines, and this will give the flaps that close both the backpack and the box on the front a nice circle shape. I tried using a punch, and punches just weren't working, so I came up with just using those circle dies. Okay. Alright, so now let's add our flaps to both of our boxes here. So I'm going to use fast fuse for that. So on your flap, go ahead and just carefully fold your score lines, and you're going to want to find the bottom score line, and that is where the back of your bag is going to line up right to that score line. So you're going to want to put your adhesive right from that score line down to the bottom. You do not want to get adhesive in this middle part. That's actually going to be the piece that closes because things could stick on it. So just put the adhesive on the piece of paper that's going to go right along the back. So it's going to be hard to see with this DSP, but hopefully you understand what I mean. So just put a little bit of fuse here. And then you're going to want your flap to be the back of the box. So again, if you don't remember, line your box up, find your back. So this is your back panel because you want the seam to be at the back. This is where you need to adhere your flap to. You're going to want to make sure that this line is flush with the first score line. So just line that up the best you can. I find that picking it up like this lines it up good, and then make sure that it adheres. Okay, so it should look like that. Now let's do the same for the box in the front. You're going to want to find the back of the box, which is where the back of that seam is, and that is what is going to line up with the DSP. Again, you just want adhesive up to that first score line. So again, I'm going to use fuse for this. You could use Tombow, you could use snail, but I really wanted a strong adhesive, so I like to use fuse. So again, line that up with the first score line. Now for this, you could pinch the box, but I just take my bone folder and use it to press down on the inside of that box to make sure it is adhering to the piece of designer series paper. So you can set this little box aside, and we're actually going to work on adding the ribbon. So the next thing you need to do is get your, just get a piercing mat. This is a little piercing mat that I have. Your paper piercer and a ruler. So the the length of this box across is 3 inches. And we're going to want to try to get our holes as evenly spaced as possible. So I'm just going to set this to show you what I'm poking here. So to do these 2 holes, line your ruler up from, let me make sure you can see what I'm doing here. You're going to want to line it up just on this piece. Find the center of 3 inches, which is 1.5. And then from that 1.5 mark, you want to come over 1/4 of an inch and punch a hole. Find that 1.5 mark again, come over 1/4 of an inch and punch another hole. Okay, see, does that make sense? Now we need to do the bottom. Again, line your ruler up. And we want the straps of the backpack to kind of go catty corner here. So we're just going to come in 1/4 of an inch on each side. So come in 1/4 of an inch, punch your hole here. So that's going to be at, I'm sorry, 1/2 an inch. And then 1/2 an inch from the 3, so that will be actually 2.5. And you'll poke a hole there. Now, we need 2 more holes that we need to poke in the top of this flap. The flap is again 3 inches. I'm just going to line. You could use your ruler or you could just eyeball it and line your holes up based off of the ones that we did on the back. Okay. Now I found that it gets kind of tricky to put the ribbon through these holes. So go ahead and give it a nice poke through, especially on these top 2 because you're poking through 3 layers of cardstock. So make sure you get a nice big hole with the hole punch here. And then now we're going to want to run our ribbon through to make our straps. And for this backpack, I'm actually using some retired ribbon. This is Indigo Island. This was some of our ruffled ribbon that, gosh, we had years ago. I love it. I still love it. I've been hoarding this ribbon for years. So I thought I would bring it out and use on this backpack. I actually have some glue on those scissors, so I'm just going to pull out some other scissors here. You want to, when you're doing your ribbon, you want to get it at an angle so that you can poke it through these holes. So take your ribbon and poke it through the bottom hole here. Pull it through the back, and you're just going to want to tie it in a knot. Okay, cut off any extra ribbon that you have hanging off there. Okay, and then pull that ribbon back through till the knot sticks. Now you're going to want to leave enough slack in the ribbon that it'll look like backpack straps. So just kind of eyeball how much slack in the ribbon you want, and then how much you think you'll need to tie the ribbon inside. And again, cut it at a nice sharp angle so that it's easy to poke through the hole and pull through the other side. And again, you're going to want to do this, tie a knot. You might could use your paper piercer to help you with this. I'm not doing very well at tying knots today here. Okay, so tie your knot. Cut off your excess. All right. There's your first strap. You're going to want to do this again for the other side. And I might end up fast forwarding this part of the video. Depends on how bad I struggle with getting this ribbon here. I've not been having the best of luck with getting this ribbon through. It's actually sort of cooperating today. All right, make your tie your knot, pull it back through. Remember, estimate about how much you want. You're going to want these to be pretty even, so try to estimate there. And I guess you could use a hole punch for this if you didn't want to struggle like I am with getting your ribbon through just a paper pierced hole. But I guess I like to make things as hard as possible on myself, so I just use the paper pierced hole. But I also didn't want you to have too big of a hole because you want it to look like a backpack, and the ribbon that is used for the straps on the back to really look like it's part of the backpack. So that's why I went with the paper pierced hole as opposed to a hole punch. So again, you need to do that in the top here because you want to have your tag on the top to really give that official backpack look. So alright, one last piece to tie off here, and then we are almost done assembling this backpack. The hardest part of putting this backpack together really is the ribbon part. You could maybe use some different kinds of ribbons. That would be easier. I looked through my ribbon stash and I didn't have a whole lot of choices. I probably need to place an order to get some more ribbon. But I did the best I could with what I have, and that's what we do as crafters, right? Okay, so there's your little strap for the top. All right, let's finish this bag off. Let me clear my space here. All right, so now that we have the backpack straps and the little tag on top done, we are ready to start finishing assembling this box. So go ahead and pull out your small box that we made earlier, and we're going to want to attach this to the front. You could use Tombow again. I'm just going to throw a little bit of fast fuse on there to attach it. And you want to line it up to where it's not completely flush down here. You want to have a little bit of the DSP showing. So I'm going to put it about right here. And then again, what I do is I just take my bone folder and I use it to apply pressure so that the adhesive sticks to the adhesive sticks, you know what I mean, box to box there. Okay. Now what we're going to want to do is close this box. So you're going to need to run adhesive down this flap. Again, I'm using fuse. You're going to want to fold in all your bottom pieces. So these two small ones first, then fold your back piece down, and then your adhesive is going to go on the front piece that will fold back, and so all the seams will be facing the back. Okay. Next thing we're going to want to do is you're going to want to pinch this box closed, because the way we scored the top, it's not going to close with the box not kind of manipulated. So what you want to do is just take your fingers, pinch it in at the sides, and carefully close the box and pinching it. You can come along here and just kind of carefully help the paper to bend to give that indentation there on that side. Do the same over here. If you're just real careful, you won't really bend the cardstock too much, and it still gives you a nice look. Okay. The last thing we need to do is get these to close, and then to do a couple decorations. So I picked up this Velcro at, I really want to say it was Target. This Velcro is great for projects like this. It's sticky on both sides, so it makes it really easy to apply. And that is how these scissors got sticky. So you might want to not use your paper snips and use some other scissors that you don't care if they get sticky. But, so just cut off a piece of this Velcro. I'm just going to cut this piece down the middle. Take the backing off and apply it to the top about where you're going to want the Velcro's closed to be. Now pinch your box, and when you go to put this piece of sticky Velcro on this, you want to pinch the box enough to where it lines up with that first score line, and then just carefully push your box down and make sure the Velcro sticks there. So that way you see this where we scored is how much that this top allows that box to expand. I hope that makes sense. Do the same thing on the smaller box here. Apply your Velcro. This one's not as bad because it's just a simple fold over. Now, this Velcro is very sticky, but the Velcro is really stuck together. So what I do to make sure that it's adhered to the paper is I just take my paper piercer and I come in here and separate the Velcro from each other, pull it apart, and really apply pressure to those pieces on the project so that you can easily close and open the box. So do it on both of these. This will make sure that the Velcro stays where it's supposed to be and you have these closers. Okay, the last thing we want to do is add a little bit of decoration. So get your rhinestones and get a piece of scrap paper. I have Indigo Island here, Delightfully Dijon, and this is the Rich Razzleberry. I was going to originally do Rich Razzleberry for the star, but that's just too much tone on tone. For this one, I did the Delightfully Dijon. So for this one, I think I'll do something different and use the Indigo Island that matches the ribbon. This is the little star from the Itty Bitty Punch Pack. So just punch one of those out. Get your rhinestones. Get one of the medium-sized rhinestones. Apply that to the middle. Get one of the large rhinestones. You can put that here on the backpack. You can get a mini glue dot. Where are my mini glue dots? To apply the star. Line that up here in the middle. All right. And there you have it, is your back to school mini backpack project. Let me clear all this out. So I did, this is the one that I was filming yesterday and my camera went out. I used again some retired ribbon that I had. This was 1/8 inch taffeta ribbon in the Rich Razzleberry. This is the original one I made. This is our actual Whisper White stitched cotton ribbon. This ribbon, really, now that I've tried these different ribbons, this was the easiest one to use. It really is, it's very pretty ribbon. So there you go. 3 cute little backpacks. I will have all of the dimensions for each of the pieces on my blog. So head on over to www.thestampcycle.com and you can get the instructions for this project along with the dimensions of all the pieces. Also, while you're over there, go ahead, subscribe to my blog so you can keep getting all the updates. Like this video down below. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave comments. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I try to do 1 video a week. I already have the one that I'm going to be doing next week coming up. I'm going to show you how to do some very detailed inlay die cutting, a very fast and easy way to do that. So be on the lookout for that video. Thanks for stopping by today. And if you have any questions about this project, just leave me a comment here on YouTube or on my blog and I'll get back to you. Thanks.